What's bubbling, magical people? Welcome back to the Witching Hour with MsMerlin, where we like to talk about all things witchy and magical. Your one-stop source for everything spellcasting, ascension, healing, tarot, mediumship, psychic gifts, spirituality, chakras, plant medicine, healing, nature, and much, much more. I'm Kimmy, aka MsMerlin, High Priestess and Shamaness, Medicine Woman, Psychic Medium, and Witch Extraordinaire. So let's jump on our broomsticks and meet me in the Crystal Coven Room. Today's topic is debunking some witch myths. All right, so we're going to talk about something that's a little bit heavier of a topic today, okay? We're going to talk about the burnings and things like that. We hear that all the time, okay? The Salem witch trials, the burnings, the witch hunts, all those kind of things. So we're going to talk about it. Where is the truth behind what is said nowadays? First of all, burnings, that was a really, really rare thing. Okay, and actually no burnings happened in Salem, Massachusetts. Okay, despite popular belief. Okay, most of those people that were found guilty in those quote-unquote witch trials were hanged. Okay, and I'd like to say that only 25% of those accusations were actually tried. And those people weren't even witches. They weren't even practicing witchcraft. Okay, what was going on back then was Puritan women, I call them that, if they didn't like this newer, younger, prettier woman, okay, who was single and living her best life, okay, they would go and put her up for witchcraft to try to eliminate the competition. Or they would get rid of people who were not aesthetically pleasing, okay? So if there was an older woman or gentleman, just very hunched over, kind of looking more and more decrepit, just to get rid of them, they would put them up on trial for witchcraft, and they would be killed. Now, the whole witch hunt started because of King James. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that name, and you would recognize the King James edition of the book of fiction that is called the Bible. So it was because of King James and his fear. He was actually terrified of witches. That's what really started the hunt. So basically, the Catholic Church, Christianity, all the factions surrounding that. So if you're not part of this way of thinking, or if you won't convert to this way of thinking, we're going to kill you. All right, so what does it actually mean to be pagan? All right, so when you hear the word pagan, a lot of people, especially if you had a religious upbringing, your first thought will be, they're a heathen, they're a devil. Well, here's the thing. The devil does not even exist in a lot of factions of witchcraft, okay? And there's more factions of witchcraft than paganism, okay? There's lots of them, okay? We're just going to talk about that today, though. And there's no devil there, okay? The devil is a concept made up by organized religion to keep you in line, to keep you fearing something, okay? Doesn't even exist in most factions of witchcraft. So back to the trials, only actually 25% were tried. Some people were just put up, their name was put up, and they were just guilty. And that's the end of it. Just killed. See you later. Awful, awful, awful. 85% were women, 15% men. The burnings, like I was saying, they were very, very rare. It was more hangings that happened. In Scotland, this is where that could have come from. They would hang them first and then burn the bodies. So that could be where that burning rumor came from. But no actual burnings took place in Salem, as I already said. And witchcraft was considered a felony back then in the UK and the Americas. So again, what we don't understand and we fear we have to destroy. And this has been the problem with organized religion since the beginning of time. Okay, so let's move on to the second part of this. So a lot of the women, what it means to be pagan, right? It's being in touch with the earth, okay? Being in touch with her seasons, her cycles, the plants, the animals, okay? Being in touch with all of those things. That's what it means to be pagan. And a lot of these women were medicine women and midwives, which brings me to my next debunking. That myth that witches would steal children in the night to eat them or whatever it was that we supposedly did with them, just so we would look more youthful. So that is actually based on a bit of fact. I say a bit, okay? Yes, midwives and medicine women did sometimes steal children in the night, okay? But it was never for nefarious purposes. Those women were like the first ever children's aid society. All right. So if they knew these children were going to be sold into slavery or they were getting massively mistreated, something like that, they would go in, steal the children, and they would place them with people who couldn't have children of their own and just wanted a child to love. Okay. So it wasn't to steal them for our own youth. Okay. It was for the sake of the children. Okay. And please don't try to pull my witch card because it wouldn't work anyway. But that kind of thing is perpetuated like in the movie Hocus Pocus. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. I'm sorry, but I do. I hate it. It just perpetuates the stereotype. I don't like it at all. So getting closer to the holidays, I'm going to do another podcast. I'm going to lay out something I actually post on my social media every year. How all these things, all these traditions that started in paganism were stolen, okay, by organized religion, given a facelift, and now most people who have grown up in some sort of organized religion think that those things are theirs. Okay, they're not. Just to let you know. Okay, but that's what happened. Okay, this organized religion comes in, and it's a mechanism of control. Right? The Bible, the book of fiction, is also a mechanism of control. So anyone who didn't follow that, or if you didn't pretend to follow that, you were ostracized. You were murdered. You were tortured. It was a very scary time back then. Very, very scary time. And this is something I talk about too, and I post this on my social media every year too. I'm just going to talk about it. St. Patrick's Day. Oh, that day pisses me off, man. Okay, first of all, the dude's name wasn't Patrick. He wasn't Irish. He was from Denmark, and he was a big, huge douchebag. Okay? It's an evil, evil man. And the quote-unquote snakes that they talk about, him pushing from Ireland and freeing them, those were pagans, okay? Snakes are a metaphor for pagan people, i.e., people who did not want to convert or believed in their organized religion. So what did they do? They killed them. Killed them, tortured them, ostracized them. That is what you're celebrating on St. Patrick's Day. You're celebrating that this douchebag killed a bunch of people for not wanting to be Christian. I got to take a breath because that... It makes me mad, folks. It makes me mad. But the more you know, right? So again, closer to the holidays, I'm going to be laying out all of the quote unquote Christmas, okay, traditions that actually are pagan. Easter, yeah, guys, I don't know what painted eggs and bunnies have to do with Jesus rising. That's paganism too. Okay, sorry, but it is stolen. But all of these things, okay, and we could talk about that. We talk about like colonization and all those things. I don't want to get into more. We're already talking about enough heavy things today as it is. All right. So I just wanted to debunk some of these myths and bring some truths to some of these things that I know that a lot of you have heard over the years and thought over the years. So yeah, let's just bring some light to it. So a really, really short one today. I apologize. We're going to get into astrology coming up in my next couple of podcasts, but there has been a lot going on astrologically wise right now in the world. So the energy has been crazy. We're also just coming off the end of a Mercury retrograde. So if you're feeling really exhausted, okay, get some rest. Make sure you're drinking lots of water too. Okay, stay hydrated. But there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so if you're, like I said, feeling exhausted, feeling drained, make sure you're getting lots of rest. Get lots of grounding as well. Spend time outside. Barefoot on the ground is the best way to do it. Your body releases electrons and stuff into the earth, back into the earth, okay, that you shouldn't be carrying anymore, right? That you need to be recharged. So sitting by water is also really awesome for that. But yeah, just simply getting outside and putting your bare feet on the ground, okay? Very, very grounding, very, very healthy for you as well, okay? It will help just make you feel better in general. Your overall health as well when you're more grounded. There's lots of research now and studies that are being done, and all this great information is proving all these things so beneficial. All right, guys. So again, we will talk about that astrology and stuff coming up in the next couple podcasts. We're going to get into some crystals. We're going to get into some of my favorite plant medicine and actual herbs and stuff that you guys can use at home for simple things. We're going to go over my favorite herbs and stuff to use. And yeah, we're going to have Melly Mel back on. And we're going to talk some more about some more magical stuff, some more synchronicities. It's going to be a good time. So don't forget to follow and don't forget to tune in next week when I'll be back. Thanks, guys, so much for your love and support. I appreciate it very, very, very much. I'm wishing you so much love, light, magic, blessings, and of course, witch third eye kisses. Kimmy, MsMerlin, reminding you to always make your own magic. Thanks, guys. Take care.